Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our second episode of season 3 of the recap of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. My name is Maggie Morgan, and with me today is the amazing, effervescent, astoundingly hot. Also, if you're not watching the video of this, what are you doing? Because with me today is Jacob Jones. How are you, Jacob?
Hello, Maggie. I'm also very drippy because I just did my hair, and everyone watching, in case you see me pick up a towel and start dabbing away, I do have like conditioner still sitting in my hair.
Oh, that's
And
beautiful.
some just may come down every now and then, you know what I mean? Just a little dab, I have to keep it up there. But we're here, we're on camera, and we're active and we're live. And Maggie, you are in your childhood bedroom, which I love a
I
little
am.
nostalgia moment coming through, you
Like,
know?
my bookcase from childhood is behind me. Like, there's a lot. The lighting is bad. My
You do
mother
look like
for
a little
sure,
cheerleader with a little high
right?
pony, with the Mets jersey on. Come on, Mets cheer. I didn't know baseball had cheerleaders. Maggie's the first.
I must be the first. My mom also is gonna come in here at one point and give me a hug and say hello because she hasn't seen me yet since I landed in Michigan. So,
Aw,
there's a lot going on, but we needed
yes.
to bring you the Real Housewives tea because Jacob has been traveling in Europe for the past week and a
hmm
half, which is
hmm
why we weren't here a couple weekends
Last
ago,
week.
like we said we would be.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're here now. We are midweek recording. After this is over, Jacob and I are going to, I didn't even tell you this, Jacob, we're going to make a recording schedule so that our lovely
Perf.
listeners will be aware and ready for when we will be recording. But I'm so pumped about this batch of episodes. This was good shit.
No,
This was
this was quintessential Real Housewives in its premium prime real estate. Everyone clocked in. People who didn't even need to clock in were clocking in. And it just added to a cumulative of season 3 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is a banger.
It's a banger, man. Like,
Hmm
I seriously, I texted Cameron, who we had on the podcast last season, and
Who I
was
actually
like,
saw at the club so recently. We sent you a
we have to
picture.
talk about, we have to talk.
Wait, he sent you
No,
a
he didn't.
picture. Yes, he
No, he
did.
didn't.
Oh, he may have just kept it. But yeah, he was like, I have to send a picture. It was
He must
Halloween.
not have
So I'm at the club. Yeah,
remembered.
yeah.
Okay, I'll have to text him and ask. Oh my god, that's hilarious. But I texted him and said, let me tell you, nobody is working harder this season than Angie Harrington because he was like,
Bitch.
it's perfect because Jen Shaw, our villain of Salt Lake City, is about to go to jail for 30 years. So Angie Harrington could pick up the villain torch and run with it because
I honestly,
whoa.
I don't think Angie Harrington's picking up the villain torch at all. I think it's a clear villain in the streets, and their voice is very like this, and they talk very whiny, and their name rhymes with
Mhm.
Blitley, and they are driving me fucking insane.
Okay, I'm so excited because the very first thing I have on our outline to talk about is we have to talk about the bad weather breakdown that's been going on over this past batch of episodes because I know Heather has been rubbing you the wrong way for a while now, and I'm
Can I
ready to
stop you in
hear
your
your
tracks
thoughts.
real quick, Maggie? Can I
Yeah,
stop you in your tracks real
yeah.
quick? Heather Gay
Mhm.
was rubbing me the wrong way. I just
Mhm.
felt annoyed with the storyline of we season 3, we're still on the Mormon track.
Mhm.
I'm saying right now,
Mhm.
Heather Gay, to me,
Mhm.
one of the best things to happen to Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, behind Maggie. Honestly, honestly,
Whoa! Oh my!
honestly,
I'm gonna fall out of my
yeah,
chair, Jacob Jones.
yeah. One of the best things happened to
Whoa!
Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Absolutely.
Okay, because I have been living for Heather Gay, and I think I know what about her clocking in got you. You
Mm.
don't like the women. You don't want the women to suffer fools.
Mm-mm.
You want them to give fools absolutely no time at all. And let me tell you, on that trip to Arizona, Heather said, Whitney, I know what you're doing. I know how you're doing it. I know when you're
Mm.
doing it. This entire trip has been about you. You need to get a grip. You need to grow up and you need to stop taking whatever out on me. And whoa. it was a lot, but also I was like, it was hard because the other women were like, I feel like Heather's not giving Whitney empathy. And yes, that is true, but I was like, I feel like Heather's an adult. She's acting like an adult right now. No?
Maggie, everything that you just said is completely accurate. Heather
Mhm.
Gay was the most reasonable person,
Yes.
screaming and all, running around saying, "You lost me, bitch!" Like running around saying all that. The most reasonable person in Arizona, completely. And I
Mhm.
am just, I was in awe. Because
Mhm.
we've seen little snippets of Heather coming out, but we haven't seen her really clock into the bullshit. And I
Mhm.
remember the first podcast I said, and I will correct myself when I'm wrong. I
Mhm.
said, I believe that the Heather and Whitney saga is very contrived and is very manipulated
Mhm.
because they needed some more drama. I don't see that anymore because if I was Heather, Whitney would not be anywhere near me with a 10-foot pole with a conversation. I would have deleted her number, blocked her. Honestly, truly, why not?
Mhm.
The most Whitney, what's her last name? Gay? No, that's Heather.
Whitney
What is
Rose. Whitney
Whitney
Rose.
Rose? Whitney Rose? Whitney Rose is probably my least favorite housewife out of any franchise.
What?
Annoying, pick me energy, very much contrived, very much. I want this all about me, very much. Like I want to stick my foot in it, but like I'm not. Very much. Nah, little girl, Maggie, I can't.
Little girl.
My screen went somewhere else. Maggie, I can't deal with her anymore. I literally can't deal with her anymore. I see her on my screen looking like I needed you to have my back. No, you stand on your own 2 feet, woman, please.
Okay, I have a theory, Jacob. I have a theory.
What is it?
I think that you are right. I think the answer is somewhere in the middle of the Whitney, like Heather contrived storyline. I think that we got a little bit of this out of order. I think Justin lost his job because of the sexy scene. I think Whitney said, "Oh shit, I need to make sure that I can provide for my family." And so Whitney picked a fight with Heather Gay on
And
the
you
trip,
thought,
and
and you
Heather
think
Gay
she
said,
started turning it up after that?
and I think Heather Gay said, "I am not the one, bitch." Boy,
Conspiracy.
is she ever. That is my theory. That's my
Okay,
theory
so we're kind
because
of like intertwined a little bit, but do you see
yes,
where my mind was at when I first stated my
absolutely.
statement? Because it just came out of left field, and the way that they turned up on each other so quickly. But if I was Heather in
Mhm.
that position, I would have turned up as quickly as. But I do see you and being like, well, Whitney, we kind of like they probably film because Housewives they can insert different footage in whenever they want to. It doesn't have to follow the same
Mhm.
timeline. They edit it down to produce the show that they want the viewers to enjoy. But that Justin
Mhm.
being fired thing could have happened at the beginning of filming, and we just got it like
Mhm.
episode 5 of the whole thing. And so
Mhm.
that thing,
No,
baby,
seriously. And I'll hold this off until tea time, but there's a lot of BravoCon stuff that we got to talk about,
yes.
and this was discussed explicitly by Heather Gay at BravoCon. So we'll get there when we get there, when we start sipping some tea. But
Mm.
okay, so the bad weather thing that happened in Arizona, and then the bad weather stuff that happened in this last episode from last night, where Whitney comes over to Heather's home and is defending Lisa and the way that Lisa was tweeting the timeline of Heather's father's death, which like I honestly like don't kill me, Jacob, but
I'm about
like
to. I'm about to.
in her weird little mind, like I
I'm about to.
understand why Lisa
Uh-uh.
did
Uh-uh.
it.
Uh-uh. 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 Maggie, repent. Repent.
Okay. But remember how we at the reunion were like, what the hell is Heather coming out guns blazing against Lisa for? Like, I don't understand. And clearly the reunion had just aired. Oh, the little doggy just barged in here.
We got a
Clearly the
little
reunion
doggy.
had just aired and all of that was coming out and Lisa was getting bombarded on Twitter. And
Mhm.
she was like, actually, I didn't text you after your father had already died. It was 2 days before he died." And I understand that the sentiment is the same, but I also get Lisa being like, "I'm clearing my name." And I just think it makes for the most absurd, ridiculous, like, Mary Cosby level drama, you know? Like,
Okay, that was very and I have to say, Lisa has I take Lisa as a joke, like, I take
mhm.
Lisa Barlow,
She's
please.
camp. She's
She's made
camp.
she's like, Carly, remember what was that supermodel that came up to the Met Gala? It was camp season, and she posted the
Carly
thing at her
Kloss.
she's that's that kinda camp that Lisa Barlow's serving, delusional.
Yeah.
But, I have chuckled. Lisa Barlow has, like, because not out of a, "Oh, Lisa Barlow's so funny." I'm just like, "What in the hell are you doing, Miss Barlow?"
Mhm.
But I will say that thing about the tweeting and when Whitney was trying to defend Lisa, Whitney finally got her big sister to pick her and to bring
Uh-huh.
her on the field trip and to bring her shopping, and she's savoring every moment of it. And she's like, "F everyone else. I have my big sister with me now, even though we're a different color hair. I didn't like her last year. She told me my style was very much Utah at the beginning of the franchise season. She picked me finally, and now I'm happy. Whitney, you're a grown ass woman." I don't understand the pick me energy. I don't understand it. And that's what frustrates me. Why do you want this? And like you're willing to sacrifice all your other relationships just for this one. This one that's like, uh
Well, Whitney to Lisa is what Lisa feels, I think, to Meredith,
there it is.
which is
I
this,
knew you were
like,
about to say that. I knew you were
big
about to say that.
I think it is. I think it's, like, this cool big sister energy, which leads us to the Lisa Barlow. The other thing we have to wrap up from the Arizona trip is the
Mhm.
Lisa Barlow versus Meredith. Lisa is giving blowjobs for jazz tickets and, all of this drama that happened.
Mhm.
What did you think of that? What did you think of where Meredith and Lisa left it? Like, what are your thoughts on all of this and the resolution of that?
So allegedly Lisa giving head for some jazz tickets. I kind of agree with Heather Gay saying, I mean, if this was for the Lakers, I would understand. If this was to sit next to Jack Nicholson, I would understand. But for Utah Jazz tickets, you
And
allegedly giving brain.
that's why we're saying, Jacob. This is to everybody listening. This is why Jacob's saying Heather's tucked in because Heather heard that rumor and she was like, "Oh, please, please, come
See,
on."
and I'm saying like, I mean, and hopefully you will get more than two front row seats at a. Bring me because food at basketball games are so expensive. Hopefully they have an unlimited card to scan. If I'm giving somebody head for some tickets for I'm at least giving a hot dog and a hot pretzel with cheese to dip it in and a
Oh
drink.
my god, a
But
plate of nachos.
nachos. I'm getting Maggie. I'm having an unlimited card. If I'm getting something out of it. But let me tell you this, Maggie. I was
Mhm.
not as peed off as Meredith was. I was not pissed off at Meredith repeating the rumors. I honestly wasn't. I was kind of like, you go low with me, I'm going to hell with you. You bringing up the
Sure.
fact that, oh, garbage whore, I slept with half the men, I done got wore out. I'm talking about everything I've heard about you. Because at this point, you going to the gutter. I'm literally scraping at my knees to get more
Yeah,
gush juice that I can to make you go
yeah.
under. I was in Lisa Barlow like retaliation, retaliation, yes, retaliation, because I'm coming for that ass full force. I don't give a damn if it's true. If I heard it from an ant on the ground, Maggie, I'm bringing it up to bury your ass. Period. I was here for it.
No, and okay, this is I hope you guys understand how good these episodes have been. Like, I
They
hope you
have.
agree with us because listen, we're 13 minutes into this podcast, and I swear both Jacob and I have almost jumped out of our seats like three
Yes.
separate times. Because yes, I agree. And you know what? Usually I am a believer, and when they go low, we go high. But what Lisa Barlow did on that hot
Mm.
mic is the most insane thing. One of the most
It's
insane things I've
ludicrous.
ever seen on Housewives. So you're right. I'm following you to hell,
No,
Meredith.
I'm going there
No
with
you're
you.
not.
We're gonna meet each other there. Period. I don't ask questions. Don't ask for a whole what can I cross this boundary? I'm crossing every boundary. Maggie, if I heard it from my aunt, best friend, sister, dog, I'm bringing it up, and I don't give a damn. Whatever I heard about you, I'm bringing it. But the fact that Whitney Dramatics and all.
That's my theory. That's what I'm saying.
But you know what? The thing is, when Meredith brought that up and they talked about it, and I get Lisa's anger and rage. Not she didn't even have rage. Her like frustration in that moment was completely warranted.
Oh
Like
yeah.
somebody just accused you of giving head.
Yep.
I'm looking at everybody confused. I'm looking like you think I'm doing that? I have a husband and
That's
two kids.
disgusting.
That's
That's
disgusting.
disgusting.
You know, but I don't even see Lisa Bar. I ain't gonna go there. But but I did so after the rumors about the head situation, the head doctor was going out there. I thought that they came to an understanding to a point,
I
but the
think so
only but
too.
the only reason that that happened was because I think, as you know, you can talk about these rumors, as you know, Meredith and Whitney came to conversation, and that's when the rumors got brought up, and then Whitney brought
Mm-hmm.
it to the table, but she phrased it in a way was not exactly what Meredith said, and what kind of kind of threw Meredith under the bus. Even though if I'm
Mm-hmm.
Meredith, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like you throw me under the
Mm-hmm.
bus. Hell, say I said it. Say you didn't. You heard it from me.
Mm-hmm.
But Meredith is not the type of woman to be like,
She
oh, I don't.
also Yeah, she also will own Meredith has always, from these past 3 seasons of Housewives we've seen,
Hmm.
she will absolutely own her shit, but she wants
Hmm.
to be very clear about what she did and did not do.
That part. And so I feel
Mhm.
as though once the conversation got contorted into Whitney's drunken blurb, I think in Meredith's mind, Meredith was like, okay, now I feel bad because even though I want to go low with you and I don't give a damn, I still do. And you were still my friend. I
Mhm.
don't want to be perceived as that way. So I think a lot of it was to do with Meredith feeling bad that she even partook in this and kind of how it would look. And I think
Mhm.
that kind of, because as we saw, Meredith was like, I'm going to go check on you, give me a hug. She went and checked on
Mhm. They
Lisa.
held each other.
They held
Yep.
each other. And I'm thinking that
Mhm.
that was the determining factor, because like the rumor got put out. Meredith got thrown under the bus by Whitney, and Meredith didn't want to seem like she had anything to do with it. She took ownership for what
Mhm.
she did, you know, about the
Yep.
rumors that she did here, but for that one thing, she did not say. And I think that she did not want that to be out, that she started that portion. So she wanted to be like,
Mhm.
okay, come here, even though she still don't trust Lisa, as we can
Yep.
clearly see. But I think
Mhm.
that was the force. But I was happy to see that because I don't want this whole thing to be continued to be drawn out. And
Yep.
Meredith, and I also love the moment when Heather talked to Meredith and was like, "Hey, you are coming across as this superior,
Mhm.
condescending, like bitch." I don't know if she used the word bitch, but I think
Mhm.
she did. And I was like, Heather, like, think, because Meredith is a very stone face. And even when she was talking to Lisa, saying, do not stop interrupting me, it's very rude.
Mhm.
I was like, Meredith, I love that energy. But like at some point, it does seem like you just keep prying and prying just for the littlest thing to latch on and be mad about Lisa
Mhm.
with. So I'm glad that this portion of the conversation regarding
Yes.
allegedly Lisa giving head for some jazz tickets and Lisa doing sexual favors for Vita Tequila. And I said this at the very first episode. Allegedly, if she is doing that, the sales ain't popping. So that means I don't
Like
see
what
Vita Tequila.
I said, like it's cheap. It's a cheap dig. It's not true. It's obviously not true. Like there's no proof at all. It's like, okay, so you say that Meredith sleeps with half of New York City, call her a garbage whore. Oh, so now suddenly you're giving blowjobs for tickets. Like,
If someone said
it's
that
just like
about
a
me, would you
cheap.
believe them?
No, unless I talked to
Oh.
you and you told me it was true.
Ah!
I would just ask you outright.
Jacob,
And I
have you been giving?
said, take me next time. Take me with you. That's what I would do.
Oh, yeah. You say take me with you next time?
No, to the game. Once you
Oh,
once you get once you get the tickets, take me to the game.
I thought
I'll
you
be your
meant
guest.
take
Nope,
you with me
that's
when
not
I
at all what I
go
meant. That's not at
down
all what I
under.
meant.
I'm
I
gonna
am
say,
in my velvet
Maggie,
bedroom.
you're a
That's not
lady.
at all what I meant. No, I am a lady. I just would like to reap the rewards of all the work that
And
you've
I'm
done.
a garbage whore.
Oh my god, I
Oh my
love it.
gosh.
Okay, so I guess now we're out of Arizona, which those episodes were great. Like, not a lot of filler
Fantastic.
content. And I also have this theory because Heather, I don't want to jump ahead too much, but I feel like this arc that we've seen Heather on, she's talking about how she's so busy right now. She's making a new location for Beauty Lab. She's supposed to be writing this book. I think she doesn't have time to suffer fools the way that she used to. Like, I don't think that she has the time to be like, licking Jen Shaw's butthole the way that she was. Like, she's busy. Like, she's like, things are really good for her and she's busy. She doesn't have the time to be groveling at people's feet to make them
Yeah.
love her anymore. I think that she's really gained a lot of confidence back by all of the success that she's been having over the past couple of years, and good for her. And
I'm
like,
happy for her.
honestly, me too. And the way, listen, I do think that Heather at that dinner, I think she was right about what she was saying to Whitney. But I do think that, Whitney opened up and told them something very serious that happened to
Yes.
her. And I do think that I think Heather was correct, but I do not think that that was the right way to go about saying it. And I do not think that was the right situation to say it in. But I understand all of that, and it sounds as though Heather apologized after the fact for that. And just the fact that Whitney has held on to it, like, that's, I think, where the even more of, like, the manufacturing comes up. And I honestly feel like Heather just has been, like, calling out bullshit. Like, not to jump ahead too much, but at the choir thing when Jen, like, caused a huge scene in the middle of her auditions, and she was like, "Why are we I thought that you already handled this. Like, what the hell?" I was like, "Yeah, because Heather's an adult. Like, she's being an adult." She's like, "I don't have time for this. I'm busy," you know? I
And I do also, I think that because I remember, because I kind of just watched all the episodes from episode 2 up until the latest episode just today, Maggie, as I would go.
Uh-huh.
So it was a full-time job today. But when Heather was saying that, I was like, ugh, like, and I don't
Mhm.
think, and in my mind, I think Heather was talking about one instance.
Yes.
And I think
Mhm.
Whitney, her just opening up about like her family trauma, and I think it was in the everyone else knowing that. I think
Mhm.
then Whitney took it, and everyone else kind of took it as like that situation too. So I think Heather's
Mhm.
comments weren't directed necessarily at those comments, but I think if you're in that environment where Whitney just kind of saw her family probably that same day or the day
Absolutely.
prior, and you're already in that saying the certain words that you did say, it wasn't the prettiest. It wasn't the prettiest of
Mhm.
things. So
It
I will.
wasn't.
It wasn't, and I will give Heather,
Mhm.
her due deals when her due deals are coming up, and yeah, it
Mhm.
wasn't the prettiest, but Heather Gay gets my stamp of stanship for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
can't wait to see. Well, we still have more to talk
Oh
about
yeah, we
here
still
because
have more.
we okay, so finishing up the Lisa Barlow sexual favor stuff. Heather
Allegedly,
mentioned
allegedly.
alleged sexual favors. Look, I've gone on record. I don't believe for one singular second that this is true. Like, not for a singular second. I think that
Really?
no, no. Like I
Okay.
said, I think it's cheap. I think that it's just
Okay.
like I don't believe it at all.
Hmm.
But Angie, the fact that Whitney was like, it was Angie Harrington, like she told Heather, this is the way that the bad weather fight begins.
Wait, can we
And
also
then,
talk about the alcohol usage of these women on these shows?
okay, yes, I'm so glad you brought this up because I was thinking it earlier and I forgot to bring it up. Whitney was plastered, and
And this
she
wasn't
was,
all season 2 events that happened when they were all together, when they went to not Nantucket, wherever the hell they went to, start with the N.
yeah, I know, yeah, uh-huh.
I'm like, can we get a some type of person to police the alcohol
And
usage, because it does add, but you can tell when these women are like gone.
well, specifically Whitney, because I don't know if you remember in season 1 when Whitney gathered all of the women at Coach Shaw's birthday party and was like, "Everybody's afraid of you," and she was
Ah,
blacked out. And
yeah.
Jen threw the glass. Like,
Yes.
there are several instances of Whitney being very obviously intoxicated on screen and like causing gigantic fights amongst the women.
Mhm.
And that's just a pattern of behavior that over 3 seasons, both of us have picked up on, you know?
And it's getting I mean, because but when you can just tell
Mhm.
that someone is like, and I get it, like I've never like been on a TV show, and I'm guessing it's a lot of nerve inducing, and you're kind of an out of
Mhm.
body experience. So alcohol, I know on a lot of these housewife shows, they have alcohol and they provide drivers as well when they know that
Mhm.
housewives will be drinking, and it's a way to like ease yourself up, get clocked in, and I have to admit, Whitney has been clocked in for like the
Mhm.
not so good clocked in version, but like just for like petty, pathetic, delusional, whiny kind of clocked in. But she has been clocked in to a certain extent. But I think it's just like an agent to like loosen her up, because I don't know. I don't know if I like necessarily believe that she's like this. And I mean, we've seen her
Mhm.
sober, so I can kind of believe that she is. But it's
Well, I
just
think
kind of getting off-putting a little bit.
yeah, and it's just the idea that, like, very clearly when she like, it's something that, like, she suddenly is like, "Okay, everybody's gotta come together and everybody's gotta talk through their
Mhm.
shit," when she's super drunk, which, like,
Yes.
perhaps is not the best moment for that, you know?
It's not, and the housewives also know, is numerous times Heather said it, Meredith said it, like, "You're belligerent right now, like, you
Yeah.
won't remember this, she's
Mhm.
belligerent, she's drunk," and it's kinda like, I would like to see you go really that hard. I wish anytime Mary, I mean, I guess she did, Mary did gather her ass and she was intoxicated too. Ugh,
Yeah.
Mary, but, yeah, I just wanted us
Right?
to
I
note that.
There was that little clip of Mary, and I think, the not this last week's episode, but the episode before, and I was like, "Oh, Mary, we
Oh, I
miss
think I
you.
remember you talking about, yes.
We miss you, Mary, we miss you."
Mm.
But okay, just to, close up the alleged, Lisa Barlow giving out sexual favors,
Alleged hair
um,
doctor.
then Heather goes to Angie Harrington and is like, "You never said this to me, right?" And Angie Harrington's like, "I never said it at all." And I was like, "Angie Harrington, you are the most full of shit person I have ever
Yeah.
seen in my entire life." Angie Harrington wants to be a housewife so bad, and honestly, God bless her. God bless her.
She
She's
wants to be a
giving it.
housewife, but seeing the way that she acts when she's confronted makes me not want her to be a housewife because she cowers away. She gets very frightened. She gets very like, "Oh, and I need you to be more guns a blazing." I feel like because and you had two friends of coming at you, and you couldn't even stand 10 toes down. But the thing is, Angie, she definitely said that, but I do not. I think Heather is being honest, where either she forgot because
I
I can see that
agree.
comment as being very flippant, like you walking
Uh-huh.
down to see, oh, and like you whispering, oh, that's who Lisa was giving head to, allegedly was giving head to get the seats. Like, I feel like that's such a
Mhm.
flippant comment for Angie to say. Not saying that's
Agreed.
anything that I would say. I think I would joke like, oh yeah, I get him in head. You know what I mean? Just like, blah, blah,
Uh-huh.
blah. But I think that was something that could be easily forgotten, or it could be an easy oversight for Heather to miss. So I do not think she was lying when she said that she doesn't remember, nor did she hear that.
Completely agree. I definitely think Angie and Whitney, over a glass of wine, Angie spilled all of Lisa's dirty, dark secrets that she could ever possibly think of and exaggerated a lot more to try to stir the pot. But I just
Hmm.
love it that she was like in her little confessional, Angie Harrington, and she was like, "I don't know Whitney to be a liar, but I do know Whitney to be a pot stirrer." I was
And
like,
paranoid,
Angie
and
Harrington.
paranoid, and paranoid.
I was like, Angie, shut
No, literally. And her confessionals were cute. Her confessionals were cute. She had one about
She
Lisa
is.
and being like, "Oh, I mean, I don't know, but I feel like he would have to be submissive because that's a lot." And then her little laugh afterwards was very cute. But can I also say, just to
Mhm.
again tie over the bad weather, when Whitney was saying, "I needed you, Heather, to confirm my story," like that was the most annoying piece of shit I've ever heard. Like, you are like, I needed you to validate my experience. Like, your experience with hearing about a woman giving head, you needed me to be like, yes, I concur that story. What in
Yes,
the
and
entire hell are
she's
you living under,
tying
Whitney Rose?
I know, she's tying it to the explanation she gave, was she was tying it to the validation of the trauma and the abuse that she experienced as a child. But you're right, I think that, like saying the two, like, conflating the 2 is
To
not the
me,
most
apples and
appropriate
oranges.
thing in the world. Yeah,
To
it's
me,
not the
apples and
I would
oranges.
agree.
And
Mhm.
but to her, it could be much more, synced. It was just like, I needed you to validate me. And Heather was like, I could not because I didn't hear it. Yes,
Yeah,
you
and
did. Whitney, yes, you did. Whitney, stop. Whitney, leave me alone. Whitney, I can't. Whitney gets my blood pressure rising because it's just preposterous. It's really preposterous for her to sit there and for her to like, I'm forcing you to believe this. You can't force a
Mhm,
damn thing to happen to me, baby. You can't force me to
mhm.
recall anything just because you want to be BFFs and licking Lisa Barlow's hoo ha. It doesn't mean I have to as well. And Heather pointed that out in her confessionals. But just because you want to be best friends and you want me to contribute, validate your story of you of Lisa Barlow, get the hell out of here. I cannot. I cannot. I cannot.
Yes, to all of that. Um, I want to get into the storyline of I want to get into the storyline of Shaw exposed on
Um,
Instagram. Can we
Maggie,
move there?
Maggie, Maggie,
This
disgusting.
was kind
The Are you about to say camp? This was camp?
yes.
Maggie,
No,
goodbye.
no. I don't know. I don't think it was camp. I think it was absurd. I think that if you want to look if you don't believe me when I say Angie Harrington is desperate to become a housewife, look no further than this whole thing. Like, it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. It's humiliating for her and her husband. It's absolutely terrible. And it was just like, I was like, what is this? But I will say it was the breath of fresh air that we needed of new drama so that we weren't still talking about Lisa giving blowjobs for courtside seats. Do you know what I mean? It was something else for us to focus on. No?
Um, no. I could have took a good ham and cheese sandwich over hearing that bullshitty ass and the fact that this grown ass man
I
admitted that on national
know.
television and he
I
prefaced it with saying, "Judge me later. I'm gonna judge you now. I'm gonna lay your ass on the skillet now and I'm gonna grill you. You are pathetic. You are disgusting. You are childish and you are trivial and you need to go home. You sitting there with your wife smiling at your ass, sitting there like, oh yeah, judge me later, but I made a fake page. You are disgusting. Send me, you know who needs to be fired from their jobs? F Heather's husband getting fired. You are disparaging and y'all have kids? And you making fake Instagram accounts to attack other women on your wife's behalf? Your wife has an Instagram account. If you a real man, get on your own Twitter account and bitch at them yourself. Why make a fake? This makes
Jacob. This is why this is great content because listen to the rant that Jacob Jones just went on.
Maggie. This
I
grown
mean,
ass man. This grown ass
no, it's
man.
absolutely, completely, and utterly ridiculous. And yes, completely humiliating that he admitted it on national TV. And I mean, if we could get a screen grab of Meredith and Seth's faces when he was telling them, he's like, I'm 52 years old. I don't know how to defend my wife online. And both Meredith and Seth were like, and Meredith
Yeah,
was like,
buddy.
okay, yeah, that's not good. Yeah, that's not good.
I was like, yo, who are you? Like, you are the type, like, I was appalled. Like, and I mean, honestly, Maggie, if I did do that, I would not admit it. But the thing is that, like, Maggie, I would absolutely not. Especially if I'm in my 50 plus, talking about I made a fake Finsta, and I'm always here for a Lisa Barlow dragging, always here for one. But I cannot get behind one off of a sorry ass, pathetic ass man getting on a Finsta and talking his shit. Own your shit. Stand 10 toes down in your shit. Own your shit. Have your wife. And the fact that Angie, you're less than smart. You're less than smart, sweetie. You gonna like it seconds after it was posted?
Oh, Jacob has left the building. He's left the building, everybody. Wait, it did it. It did it.
Maggie.
Okay,
The
well,
fact
this
that she
is my
liked it.
thing. Okay, this is my thing that I have many things to say. Since the caterer incident of last season, since the great caterer incident when Angie was in that gorgeous feather dress, we've known that Angie Harrington has wanted to be on this show.
Mhm.
So he is saying, oh, I wanted to protect my wife. No, because if you want to be protected, you're not on the show. You never have to be on the show again. You can just disappear from social media. You never have to show up on the show ever again. Okay, so number one.
Talking facts.
Number two, you are using this as the storyline to get your wife on the show. Number three, you literally, the catering event was for like anti-bullying of like trans youth, like to like uplift and support trans youth of Utah. And it was like a whole sort of like, I don't quote me on this because I know that it was in support of trans youth, but like isn't a huge part of supporting trans youth, like, anti-bullying measures? Like, you're going online and bullying people who I know are public figures, but, like I said, you never have to show up on this television show ever again, but your wife is doing confessionals in her house. Like, I just feel like this very clearly did what it was supposed to do as a part of their plan. And all I have to say is that I hope Angie gets a promotion because boy, is she shameless, Jacob Jones.
Oh,
She
she's
is
shameless. She's shameless,
shameless
yeah.
to be doing this. I mean, the caterer was shameless, right? Like we said that last season. We were like, Angie is like coming for that snowflake. Like she is shameless. And that gives us good content. The past 10 minutes of this podcast have been so fun because of how upset you just got because of, these people are shameless.
Maggie, my thing is, I don't think she will get a promotion. She may, but I don't. If she's doing this little for a friend role, like she's doing a lot. If she's doing this much for a friend role, why not keep her at a friend role? She's still gonna be providing, whatever. And if her husband and her want to be protected, just don't really reveal your lives. Y'all are putting yourselves in a dumbass position to be talked about on television, dumbasses. And I'm talking to the husband
So
specifically. The husband, what is his name, Maggie? I need his name. What is his name? And I need his IP address. You are a dumbass. And I don't care. I genuinely don't care. He's a dumbass. He's a dumbass man. He's a pathetic, he's weird. You're very weird. At the staggering age of 50 plus, you're weird.
yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just shameless. And then
And Angie H is very, very dilute. Like, what? Like, oh my goodness.
so Jen was upset by this.
Jen is annoying.
The name of the account is Shaw Exposed.
Oh my goodness.
And Jen was very personally offended by this.
Jen is annoying.
And Heather Gay does not suffer fools and is in the confessional saying Jen needs some perspective. Okay. She needs some perspective. And I will say she does need some perspective because it seems as though he did call her and apologize. And yes, he wasn't even talking about her. The name of the account was just Shaw Exposed. And listen, there are many, many Jen Shaw accounts online that do not know her personally. And I do think that she should maybe be putting the energy towards proving her innocence. That, spoiler alert, she did plead guilty. There's just a lot to unpack there that we got to go through. Going to New York for all of that. But Jen was very upset by Shaw Exposed.
Also, we have to talk about later on potentially her relationship with Bravo being canceled.
Oh no, we will. I have all of the Bravo content on the list.
But yeah, pathetic husband. Angie H is a ditzy Dora, and
she's beautiful. I have to say,
gorgeous.
I think she is drop dead gorgeous. I can't believe she's over
gorgeous.
40. Her skin,
she's gorgeous,
perfection. She's absolutely gorgeous. Drop dead gorgeous.
No, she's gorgeous. Ditzy Dora. But gorgeous. We love a queen that can serve no brains but face.
Can we talk about the fact that she's in this fringe outfit outside of Heather's choir auditions? Jen Shaw comes out, guns blazing, ready to fight, and she has her eyes wide and goes, "I didn't do anything. I made no fake account." Like, girl, your husband called Jen.
But before we talk about that, we have to talk about the 2 additional friends that are going to be added to more development, who are try-hards like a mother. I'm like, y'all are really trying to stick y'all landing, and for me, it's coming across as very inorganic, very inauthentic. I mean, it's for me, it was just very like, y'all are doing too much. Like settle down.
Absolutely. Hard agree, Jacob. What I will say is that I think that sometimes, like, these are normal women, right? Like, these are women who are not media trained. Like, these are just women living their lives. People aren't always 1,000% comfortable in front of a camera. I assume that the producers were like, why don't you say something to Angie about this? Because you're friends with Lisa. And then Angie K having never been on camera before, was very, very stiff. And what I will say is that I'm going to reserve a little bit of judgment until we have perhaps more episodes for these women to get more comfortable on camera. But yeah, I mean, I think that the problem is that they don't know, like, these women are just women that Bravo found for them to add to the cast. Like, nobody
Well, I thought
actually
they had
knows
to be
these
friends
women.
of someone, and they brought them in that way, no?
Yeah, but like I think that Angie K is a friend of Jen's, and then the
Mhm.
other woman is a friend of Angie K's. So like nobody really knows the other
Yeah.
woman, I believe. I don't even know the woman's name. It starts with a D, I think.
Yeah, I
Um,
remember that she had in the trailer, she had that little quick comment to Jen saying, "Oh, you better be careful because I could put before I don't put money in your butts." And that even seemed rehearsed, to be honest. Like that seemed very rehearsed.
yeah,
Like you sat in your
yeah.
mirror and you said that shit.
And I think that the reason that Angie Harrington popped immediately on screen last season is because she did have a relationship with Lisa, a like
Yeah.
20-year friendship, and it seems as though she's thrown away to be on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
I feel like they both thrown it away to
Sure,
one threw it
sure,
away for
but
a ledge head, one threw it away for a snowflake.
anyways, she knows these women. Like she's friends with Whitney and Heather, so she's around the crew, so she's always being brought up in a very organic way. Versus
Mhm.
these women who were clearly plopped. The producers were like, "Come and stand in line
No,
for
literally
Heather's
plopped.
choir thing." Yeah, I
Literally.
mean it was stiff and contrived and not great. Definitely
No,
not great.
not at all. Yeah,
Mhm.
I was definitely over that. But when Jan came outside and it was like, yeah, yeah, I was Jan, sis. This is what giving you heart palpitations.
I
This
know.
this is what really doing you in.
I
Okay, sis,
know.
do your big one.
I know.
But and Whitney was standing there like a ditzy Dora too.
Mhm.
Like what's going on? And then, but I would have to say. And they went and they kind of sat down a little bit. Oh, but wait. And then Jen got mad because Heather came outside. And I was pissed because this is Heather's choir. We're trying to,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a religious choir. I believe
Agreed.
it's, I
It's
believe it's
not. It
somewhat,
will
it's
it's spiritual, but not like
spiritual.
any organized religion.
Ooh, well,
Mhm.
I've been going to a psychic. I've been seeing a psychic and I had for two
Ooh,
days. And we've been having
how's it
phone
been
calls.
going?
Maggie, I kid you not. I sometimes go to psychiatrists every now and then. One of the most
Mhm.
spot on. I need to like if you're ever interested, I should give you his number. One of the most spot on like things that have ever happened in my entire life. And also, he's called like an ex that I and things ended very horribly on. I did this like extensive thing with the psychic, and today I got a message, or I read the message today. I got a message yesterday from like I mean I saw it. He sent it yesterday, and I haven't spoke to this person in like 5 months. And so it was like I don't know, it was a lot of things happening, and I was like, but yeah.
Message me who the ex is.
Oh,
Sorry already. This
like the Instagram one.
okay, okay.
Yeah. Wait,
Yeah,
not
we
AC. Wait. Oh,
wait, we'll talk after. We'll talk after. Sorry, everybody. We digress. Jacob and I digress. We digress.
digress. Yeah.
The letters?
But I said the letters of yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, we gotta talk. We have to talk.
It
Um.
was,
Yeah. Anyways. Okay. The psychic. That's so
yes,
interesting.
but we're talking about the spiritual choir though.
Yeah, we were, but that was just a fun Jacob sidebar.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Heather said that she is, no longer obviously a practicing Mormon, but
Mhm.
music and spiritual music means so much to her.
I
So
do
she
love
wanted
that.
to start this non-secular choir basically, where you can come and you can sing spiritual music, but you don't have to, be prescribed to any church. And Lisa came and sang, and
The
everybody
flattest
was
queen
loving
of
Lisa.
the flattest notes I've ever heard, Maggie. Stop.
Okay, but Lisa and Heather are really not well right now because of the comments about that Lisa made about Heather's father. And yeah, I think that it's just like I said, I think that Heather's just not suffering fools. Like she's not, like she doesn't care anymore. She's
No, and
like,
she
screw
shouldn't.
you.
Because so
Hmm.
do you want to explain, like, did we explain what exactly happened with
So, okay. So what happened was at the reunion, Meredith and Lisa were talking about Meredith's father's death and how Lisa tried to be there for her. And Heather was like, "You don't care about me though. Like my father had died, and 2 days after he died, you texted me and said you hope my father was feeling better." And Andy specifically said in the clip, after he died, and she was like, "Yep, after he
Mhm.
died." So when the reunion aired, Lisa retweeted from somebody who had tweeted out the day of Heather's father's obituary, and Lisa screenshotted the text to Heather, and it was actually 2 days before her father died. But Heather was like, "We were literally surrounding my father in hospice care where he was like he was on his deathbed," you
Mhm.
know? Which I do think is because the implication that Heather had when she said my father had already died and she texted me, "I hope your father's feeling better," is that Lisa had cared so little that she didn't even listen when the announcement was made that Heather's father died. She was paying so little attention that the announcement that Heather's father had died had come out, and then she texted Heather and was like, "I hope your dad's feeling better." I think Lisa was trying to say her dad hadn't died yet. I did not know that he was so sick. That's why I said that.
But even that is something that, "Oh, I'm gonna repost this," even though we're
Oh,
kind of mending
yes.
something. Lisa, pick your battles wisely because,
Yes.
baby, that is not a battle that I would even wanna engage with a person that's not, here anymore. And just to even
And
circulate that back in that, and honestly, like, Heather said that, yes, it was like, "Oh, dang, Lisa." But that wasn't the worst thing that happened to you at that reunion, baby girl. Like
mhm.
the whole marriage, like, and that's what you wanna bring back
But that's
up?
Lisa. Like, that's Lisa to a T. She knows she was deeply wrong in the Meredith situation. So she's going to hammer home the thing that she is right about, which is that I never did that to Heather. Like, she can't retweet anything about the Meredith stuff because she was completely in the wrong. So she's got to pivot and focus on what she was right in. Like, it's not
Disgusting.
right. It's not correct.
Yeah.
It's just Lisa Barlow. That's just how she is and who she is.
Child, that's why I will never utter the words Lisa. Lisa makes me chuckle, huckle, and buckle every now and then.
Mhm.
But every other time I'm like, sis, what? Huh? How, where, and why are you doing this? And it just doesn't make sense. Lisa Barlow, you're just not my type of girl. And I get you for what you are, and I understand you for where you are. We're meeting each other where each other is. And right now,
Yeah,
you're very far from me, and I don't want you to come any closer because I don't want to be a
sure.
garbage whore, or I don't want to fuck all of New York, or I don't want to have my
Half of
spine
New
bent.
York.
What
Half of New York,
half
Jacob.
of New York, or I don't want to. You know what I mean? And I may say you allegedly giving head. I don't even want to partake in those games with you, Lisa Barlow. Let's just stay far away from each other.
I love you, Lisa. I'll have Taco Bell with you anytime.
Ill, and you're gonna have fucking diarrhea. I have not eaten Taco Bell since like college because it fucks up my
I
stomach, and I
haven't
always
either. I
have
haven't had it
the
in 5
dirtiest
years.
shits after I do that.
I haven't had Taco Bell in 5 years. It literally,
Yeah.
Taco Bell is what sent me on my insane restrictive, like,
Wait,
absolutely
Maggie,
not cut out
I
diet.
think my stomach is like fucking up
Why?
because I was like like
No,
just
we've
like
talked about this. It is, and I've told you what it is.
I
But I think
probably
that
like
you just gotta take the time and like commit.
I need to go like see a doctor.
Yeah. I did
Yeah.
that too. I went to see a doctor, I did an elimination diet, the whole thing.
Well, and something my psychic did say because and this was the one of the things that made me really click, and he was like, I feel like you'll be like going to see a doctor like in the next like 4 or 3 months on two things. One, your stomach, and my stomach has been really severe lately. Not like
Mhm.
not like chronic or
Mhm.
anything like that, but just like severe for me. And then he
Yeah.
said like a neurology. And anytime that I for years I haven't been able to I've been bending my arms when I sleep, but it hurts like hell right in the joints, and I have to like crack it out. for years. And so I've
Ooh.
always been like, I need to go see because I can't have my arms bent like that when I'm sleeping. And recently,
Mhm.
like when it's bent, something will connect right here and it'll go to sleep and my pinkies and my
Oh,
nerves will
no.
like fuck up a little bit. And so when he said that, I was like, wow, that's like, but I looked it up and it's like this
Maybe
like
you should see a
minor.
PT. Yeah,
That's what
like a
like
physical
the
therapist.
yeah, that's what like they were. So it wasn't anything. It's not anything like serious. Even when I looked it up, it had like a direct correlation
Mhm.
with something. So it's not anything like serious. But I was like, wow, like I didn't even say that to you, but that's when I
I
was
can
like,
give you a rec for a good physical therapist. Now this is literally just a FaceTime call with
no
us.
TBH.
I'll give you a rec for a good physical therapist after this is over. Um, sorry everybody. I love the
Sorry.
feedback though that people like this. So that's
Yeah,
good. That they
TBH.
like hearing us just chit chat.
But
Sometimes somebody
but
tweeted
about Lisa
me.
Barlow delusional ways.
Oh, love her. Anyways, okay, so I mean, I think that's all I have with this big chunk of what we just saw with the overarching storylines. I mean, there's more. We should probably get into Jen and the trial.
I feel like I don't have shit to say about that. Besides,
Okay,
I
same.
know, like
Okay.
you got it. Take it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, they're speculating on whether or not Stu is going to testify against her. She's facing a lot of time. She's fighting this. She's fighting this. We know how this, I think I've seen this film before and I didn't like the ending. We know how it ends.
I think I've
She's
seen
gonna
this
plead
film.
guilty. She has her sentencing hearing coming up. I think that that's gonna be a really interesting part of the season is when she decides to plead guilty and she has to explain why. I'm so fascinated to hear what her decision making was on that because she is so committed to proving her innocence at the current
Mhm.
moment. And I wonder like what exactly the plea deal was that was struck with like I want to hear what she has to say because she did legally admit like she pleaded guilty so she has admitted guilt in her part of this, which is a complete pivot from everything we're currently seeing where she says she's completely innocent. And I'm just interested to see what her explanation is for it. It's shocking.
Yeah, I mean, even when Jen came outside to fight Angie and to say like, "Well, you know what your husband's doing,"
Mhm.
Angie was like, "Well, does your husband know all the things that you've been indicted, all these things?" And she was like, "I'm innocent." And I was just laughing at the gall of like, now we know what
I
we know,
know.
and you kept standing 10 toes down, which is gonna bite you in the ass with a lot of shit. Not even just like, I mean, this show, but
Mhm.
like the show is like your livelihood at this point and having
Mhm.
what we can speculate but kind of know what happens with you and Bravo is
Mhm.
kind of like
Should
but
we
yeah,
should we tea time it with BravoCon?
let's tea time it with BravoCon. Wait, what are we going to talk about? Is she yeah, let's talk about it. I think we
Okay.
covered it.
Okay.
I don't have
Okay, everybody. I'm vamping while we wait for Jacob. Let's wait for Jacob to get his tea time. I literally kept this little bit of water at the bottom of my glass so that I would
I was
have
going to press
something
some
to sip on.
emergency.
Okay, ready? All right. Should we talk about BravoCon tea? Let's
Let's
start with
talk
Jen Shaw.
about it, baby. What?
Let's start with Jen Shaw. Let's start
Okay,
with
let's
Jen
start with
Shaw
Jen.
because there was a Salt Lake City panel at BravoCon, which I watched clips. Oh my God, we'll get into it. But glaringly absent from this panel was Jen Shaw. And it was reported that Jen Shaw was not invited to BravoCon, that Bravo did not want her there now that she has pled guilty. But Miss Jen Shaw showed up
Crashed.
at the Javits Center in New York City, was walking around in her designer boots.
She crashed the party, like, at the gall.
And apparently, allegedly, crashed these after parties and was at the Javits Center. And Jen vehemently denies that she crashed. She says she was invited, Bravo is her employer, all of this stuff. But why would they not have Jen on stage if that is the case? Like, What do
Did
you
you see
think,
what
Jacob?
did you see what Andy Cohen said?
What did he say? No.
And they talked about it on The View as well. He said
Okay.
something, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said something to the point of, well, when she pled guilty, that was kind of it on our side with her. And so,
What
like,
can they do?
what can they, and then on The View, they talked about, well, y'all have had two people convicted, Teresa Giudice and then Jan, and y'all only taking this
Mhm.
thing about Jan, which I think is like Teresa's husband was like quote unquote
Mhm.
more to blame and X, Y, and Z.
Uh-huh.
But no, Jen is done for on Bravo, I believe. Yeah, I like we
Yeah.
haven't seen her on a Watch What Happens Live.
I mean, I don't think legally they can.
Yeah, I
Like,
think she's
I
done.
I think well, I think legally they definitely could, but I think that the
I mean,
idea
she's in
is that
contract with them.
she's in contract, but I think that they have, like, an ethics code
Yeah,
probably that all
yeah.
their employees have to, like, so
Hmm.
she's been convicted of a federal she's been guilty to a federal crime. Like, I don't think that they can have her on their panels on Watch What Happens Live. I Is she going to be at the reunion?
If
Like,
she, if she isn't at the reunion, I don't think we will be missing much, honestly.
I wonder, did she stop filming after she pled guilty? Like, these are all questions that I'm
Well, since she did that when filming was at the head of ending, and so I believe they just
mm,
extended filming a little bit longer to capture that dialogue. And so I
mm,
think like once she did that, then I think it was kind of like, but that was
yeah, yeah.
just her kid and her, and it just like this was like their livelihood too. I mean, Coach Shaw's still working, I
Mhm.
believe, but
Yeah.
yeah, homie, I think is done with Bravo. Was not at BravoCon, even though the Salt Lake City panel was probably, I would say, one of the better panels on
Oh my it
BravoCon.
was it was like a football game. Like,
And I
people were
love
cheering.
2v2. It was 2v2, babe. And
It was
the
2v2.
people love Heritage Gay. And I think Whitney cannot read an audience because Whitney kept trying to bicker and make snarky comments towards Heather,
Mhm.
but the comments were not feeling Whitney at all.
Well,
And I
I
lived.
just think it was like every single time one of the women would say something on the panel, the
Hmm.
audience would go,
Hmm.
"Ooh," like,
Yeah.
or they would cheer. Like, it was so rowdy. So basically, the two really big clips that were circulating that were like huge was bad weather fighting.
Hmm.
So Heather is saying to Whitney, Karamo was moderating the panel, and Heather is saying to Karamo, like, I think that, yeah, it was contrived. I think that she needed a storyline. I was incredibly shocked because she was my really close friend and suddenly she didn't like me anymore. And Whitney was like,
Hmm.
"You will see in episodes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 why you will see me chasing down Heather Gay." And the audience is like, "Ooh." And Heather was like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, that's just not true. And it was very, very contentious between
Hmm.
them. And Heather was like, "I thought that when we left Ultimate Girls Trip, we were good. Like, I thought we were good. I thought we squashed it." And Whitney was like, "I did too, but then I get to BravoCon and you're ignoring me and talking shit."
This
And
voice.
I guess it's not. It's kind of right? I'll get there. I'll get there. Um, so that's the thing also, Ultimate Girls Trip, apparently the women who were being interviewed for Ultimate Girls Trip were asked about the bad weather conflict, and they were like, yeah, they did not fuck with each other
Mm-mm.
out there. Like,
Yeah.
it was really sad to see, like, they were not on good terms. So we'll have to watch that and keep tabs on it, Jacob.
Remember,
But
I said we should cover that one too,
mhm,
on our last one because it does involve two mainstays on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. But it kind of astounds me how four women are carrying a franchise. Because typically, like I mean, like Jen, I feel
uh-huh,
like Jen's drama, she's kind of out of the loop, honestly. Like the main drama is with like
mhm.
Meredith and Lisa, and then Heather and Homegirl,
I mean,
and
this is giving like the heyday of Real Housewives of New York when it was five women
mm,
carrying 4 to 5 women
yeah.
carrying that. Bethany, Jill, Ramona,
I'm about to say
Luann,
Romana.
Ramona,
Romana,
Luann,
yeah.
like they were
Sonia.
carrying. Yes, they were carrying that franchise on
Mhm.
their back, and it was just them. You know,
Yeah,
it's
TBH.
giving that same energy here, and this season is so much better than last season. It's so much less dark. It's
Mhm.
like you said, people are giving it to one another, and it doesn't have to do with like I don't know, like poor Meredith last season was definitely going
I
through
know.
it, and I just am loving it. So the other thing from BravoCon from the panel was Lisa and Meredith going at one another.
Yeah.
And Lisa was like, I thought I was alone in that room. I did not think that anybody was there. And Meredith was like, check out the mirror in the room. You can see somebody's there. And Lisa's like, no, you know how they edit the storylines. They edit the storylines. They make it seem like I was not alone. I was alone. It was one rant to myself. And like
Oh my
can't,
goodness.
she like can't still can't admit that it was
Yeah.
just a really terrible, shitty thing to do. And like, she gets it. And she should be like, yeah, Meredith, I understand why you're not happy with me and why you don't want to be my friend anymore.
She very much so should, but she won't. And that was a nice exchange. So I like the 2v2 kind of going back and forth. And then they
Mm-hmm.
asked, okay, who are y'all closest to on the cast? And then I think Meredith said, well, look who we were sitting by each other today. And so it was the Whitney and
Mm-hmm.
Meredith on one, oh, Heather and Meredith on one couch. And
Mm-hmm.
then
Whitney
um
and Lisa.
I was about to give him a nickname. I was trying to think of a little nickname for them. Big sis, little sis on the other one. But little both teeny boppers. Yeah, and
Teeny bopper.
I'm little teeny poppers. What I'm hoping for the rest of this season, I'm hoping that we see the fallout with Jen's trial. I'm hoping that we
Mm-hmm.
see the continuation of the fallout between Bad Weather because I don't want them to ever
Mm-hmm.
repair their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping we see a lighter side of the Meredith and Lisa debacle, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that Heather keeps her foot on Lisa's neck.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we're in for a pretty and I hope the friends of the show they get more camera trained so things
Yeah.
come off more authentic because if I'm keep getting lines saying by Angie K and by the other lady, I'm gonna need them to digress their roles monumentally.
Uh-huh.
And
I
yeah.
do agree with that. And you know what? I will say Jacob has a good first impression. Like his takes from a first impression are spot
Come
on.
on now. Come on
So,
now.
so I honestly like your complete and utter dislike of the other two girls really makes me very weary of them, and we're gonna have to track that through the rest of the season. What we think.
Yeah. It just not dislike, but I just think try hard. Like I like if you
Yeah.
like it just doesn't make me want to root for you or want to know you. And
Hmm.
I'm good on not knowing y'all. I feel like you it's no way that a friend of should be coming at another friend of about what she said about a mainstay on the show. Like leave that to the
Hmm.
women who get the bigger checks. You ladies can
Yep.
contribute to funny moments. You know, if you have your
Hmm.
own beef, address that as such, but don't fight nobody else's battles because God
Hmm.
knows Jen Shaw don't need nobody else to fight her battles, and God knows Lisa Barlow does not need anyone else to fight her battles.
Absolutely. Amen to that. On that note, I do want to give a little shout out to Josh Creek on Twitter,
Yes.
who tweeted Jacob
Ah,
and
I wanted you to say this. I was gonna find it.
and requested that I read this Lisa Barlow tweet in my Lisa voice on the next Real Housewives of Salt Lake City podcast. Josh,
Do it.
thank you for being a listener. I will be doing this just for you. I have never done a sexual favor for anything. I deserve presents for breathing.
Spot on. We need a bell. Ding.
I love you, Lisa Barlow 7. Call me next time you're in New York. Let's get Taco
Ew,
Bell.
Maggie, if I ever see you hanging out with that lady, ew.
I'll get cinnamon twists because I can't really have anything else from Taco Bell. But
Perfect. I'm actually ordering food, not
uh,
Taco Bell though.
ooh, okay. So thank you everybody for being patient with us. We're sorry that we weren't here like earlier in the month. We're only, a couple days later than we said we would be, but be on the lookout for the next announcement of the next podcast. We're going to try to do that one live, I believe, so you guys can join us and we can take
Ooh.
questions from you during the podcast. Jacob, where can people find you if they want to keep up with you?
People can find me at JacobJ_Jones on all social media. And then me and Taryn Armstrong, we talk about just life on Mondays. We've been doing horrible because I was out of town. He's been doing shit. So we're coming back from a month hiatus this upcoming
Wow.
Monday. So yeah, check me out there. Maggie, where can people find Joe TikTok and have an ass?
Yes, people can find me on Instagram and TikTok at MLMorgan_. I was on the stock watch with Taryn 2 weeks ago for Survivor.
Ooh, I would never do that.
Um,
Kudos to you because I do not have
no,
an
I
analytical
was
brain. Good job.
I was really nervous because one, I don't feel like I'm a Survivor expert. Two, the season of
Mhm.
Survivor, not
That's what I've
into
been
it.
hearing. That's what I've been hearing.
It's like, I mean, I don't know. I feel like maybe we'll get an amazing winner out of it, but like at
Okay,
what
cute.
cost, you know?
Yeah.
You know? And we're also coming off of one of the best modern Big Brother seasons ever.
Oh,
So
TBH.
I'm like, ugh. So yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. We love you so much. And we will see you next time. Love you,
Love you,
baby.
baby. Bye.
Bye.